We're not going to go too much into vapor production because that isn't the whole point of this video. Okay, as you can see, they come in 5 variants. We got melon twist, creamy coffee, we have tasty tobacco, crystal cola, and crazy cotton candy. Now, first thing you're going to notice about the juices is that they are slightly bigger when it comes to the package than your standard 10 ml bottles. That's because these are 15 ml bottles that we got here, with an SRP of 300 Philippine pesos. Okay, these are all available at all Vape City branches, and they have a couple of resellers up north and a couple of them down south right over here. Okay, so as you can see, I've lined up my mods because we are going to be dripping. I don't have any tanks on hand, so we're going to be dripping them in each of the atomizers here, and we're going to be doing a couple of drags, and I'm going to talk about the flavor. Okay, so let's start with melon twist, and we are going to give this a quick spin. I'm just going to drop a couple of drops in it because I just dropped them before I was interrupted by a phone call. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and give this baby a spin. Alright, so melon twist, obviously based on the name you can infer that it is primarily a melon flavor, but to go beyond that, there's a bit of a hint of milk. I don't know if it's milk or that's just my tongue, excuse me, but it tastes almost like stork melon candy. Going in and coming out, so it's not one of those flavors that when you drag it, it tastes different from when you actually exhale the vapor. That's mostly what I can say about melon twist. Obviously you can see that the vapor was pretty good, so I'm not sure what mix of PG and VG they have in this, but let's leave that up to them. We're only here for the flavor. I failed to mention that the densities that I have here are all low. So that's roughly about 6 to 9 milligrams of nicotine, I guess. I normally go for medium, but low hits spot just right. So going back to the taste, we can say that yeah, it tastes roughly like stork melon. You won't get your fruity kick out of it just upright, but I'd say it's a fairly accurate representation. There's a bit of a kick right after you drag it, so it's melon with a bit of a kick. And it's up to you how you want to take that. So we are going to move on to creamy coffee. Now I'm going to be honest, I probably won't be able to give the most unadulterated review of this particular flavor because I am not a coffee person. You will never catch me at Starbucks or Seattle's or Coffee Bean or whatever. You will not catch me at any of those places because I am not a big fan of coffee. But I have to be honest, the taste of creamy coffee based on what I've tried before, and I'm going to show you how it vapes right now. It's a fairly accurate representation of what your standard coffee would be. If you were to have, if you had coffee at home, one of those 3-in-1 mixes, it tastes roughly about the same. So let's see how this baby vapes, okay? Okay, so yeah, it tastes like standard unsweetened coffee. Yeah, there is a bit of sweetness, a bit of a hint of sweetness in City Blend's creamy coffee, but you're not going to be overwhelmed by that, by the sweetness of the mix. It still has that bland coffee taste right inside of your tongue. So for somebody who doesn't drink coffee to say that he was actually pretty fond of this, then that's saying a lot. Now, I'm not sure if the coffee connoisseurs or the Starbucks folks are going to agree, but this tastes more like what you'll find in your average Filipino household. Pretty good stuff, actually. Again, vapes pretty decently, and one thing I noticed, while trying these out is when you say low density when it comes to City Blend, it has more of a throat hit than your standard low density juices. You probably noticed that with other juices, that when they say low, the hit that you get, the drag that you get on your throat varies, and I can say that this is, these juices closely approximate what it would taste like if you were to smoke an actual analog or your typical Marlboro or Winston ones. Now, we're going to move on to tasty tobacco. And I'm going to be using my my standard air hole for this, because when I vape tobacco flavors, what I'm after is for it to taste as close to an analog as possible. So let's see how this works. I'm a pretty big fan of tobacco blends, and we're going to see how tasty tobacco hits the spot. Now, you're going to notice slightly weaker vapor when it comes to this. Again, it's because the air hole has been unmodified. It is stock, and I did not tinker with it anyway. So, alright, it's on. Let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, so again, when I vape tobacco juices, what I'm after is to as closely as possible, approximate the drag and the throat hit that you would get from a standard analog. I'm not sure what you folks used to smoke when you used to smoke them, but I used to do Marlboro Reds. So I wouldn't say that tasty tobacco tastes exactly like that, but I'd say that you would get a similar experience vaping it as you would from smoking an actual analog. Now the drag would, or rather the throat hit that you get, would depend on the nicotine density that you purchase or avail of. But when it comes to the flavor, you get that raw tobacco taste. Now I can't compare it directly to any flavors out there, but of the tobacco blends that I've tried, this is probably one of the closest to an actual analog flavor that I've had the luxury of sampling. It, especially when your builds on your atomizers are more for the flavor than for the vapor, and you don't tinker with the air hole, you get that drag and you get that same throat hit from City Blend's tasty tobacco. Again, it's one of the closest approximate tastes to an actual cigarette that you could probably get out on the market. Now, we are going to move on to Crystal Cola. Pretty biased towards that because I'm a heavy Coke drinker. You'll notice I do not have a beer gut, but I do have a Coke gut. Now we're going to go ahead and just burn this because I popped the creamy coffee into this earlier, so let's go ahead and dry burn it a bit. Just to get the taste out so that we can get a fairly accurate taste of what Crystal Cola is like. Again, standard 4 to 5 drops, and we're going to go ahead and see how this baby rolls. Alright, the first thing that I'd probably be able to liken the taste to would be, of course, well, cola, so Coke would come to mind. It's not so much Pepsi as it is Coke, but the a more accurate description of what Crystal Cola tastes like is if you've tried the Chupa Chups lollipops that come in blue, the cola flavored ones, yes, they taste like that. It tastes almost exactly like that, or if you're a fan of gummy candy, if you've tried the cola variants of the gummy bears or the gummy colas that are out there, this is probably the closest that you're going to get to it. So you won't get the same gassy reaction that you would from probably drinking a can of your favorite cola. But when it comes to the flavor, it's very solid. The sweetness is right there, and it tastes almost exactly as if you were sipping your favorite cola. In my case, it's Coke. Let's go on to the last one, Crazy Cotton Candy. I saved this for last because I intend to vape this personally later, even after the video. So we're going to go ahead and dry burn the melon twist that I dripped into this thing earlier, so that we can get fairly accurate taste, and I can give you a more unadulterated review of what City Blend's Crazy Cotton Candy tastes like. So let's just put the top cap back on, and I gotta make sure that we don't have any hot spots. Yeah, we are good, okay. So, Crazy Cotton Candy. Now, for those of you who've actually tried cotton candy at carnivals or fairs, if you've been to Star City or you've been to Enchanted Kingdom and you've tried the cotton candy that they have there, you know for a fact that cotton candy is a hodgepodge of different flavors, and the same could be said for City Blend's Crazy Cotton Candy. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you how it vapes, and we're going to talk about the flavor, just like we did for the other four, okay? Alright, now, as you probably noticed, all of them have roughly the same vapor production. Maybe it's because of the build, I really don't know, but again, we're here for the flavor. Okay, Crazy Cotton Candy. Now, as I mentioned, it's a hodgepodge of different tastes, because we're talking about cotton candy here, and by definition, cotton candy just tastes like that. And this is, again, another realistic approximate of what real-world cotton candy tastes like. If you lived around the 90s, then you probably were able to try Jack and Jill, I believe, released a foiled pack of cotton candy called Candy Clouds. It tastes almost exactly like this. If it's based on that or not, I'm not entirely sure. I can go ahead and ask them if you'd like, but when it comes to the sweetness and the candy kick that you get out of vaping Crazy Cotton Candy, then it hits the spot right there. You have the sweetness that you get in the corner of your mouth, which is where most sweet and a bit of a sour kick would kick in if you were sampling actual food. Now, that's just about as much as I can say for Crazy Cotton Candy. It was actually, you know, on a side note, it was actually one of my staple juices back in the Christmas of 2012, roughly around that time. Now, again, these 5 flavors, Melon Twist, Creamy Coffee, Tasty Tobacco, Crystal Cola, and Crazy Cotton Candy are available at all Vape City branches. And if you want to check out their resellers, you can send them a PM on Facebook. Just look for them. The group name is Vape City. You can search them there. And you can send them a PM and find out where their resellers are, or if they have medium density available at a particular branch where you intend to buy. Now, again, back to the SRP, it's 300 Philippine pesos per 15 ml bottle, so you get a bit of you get a bit more bang for your buck for an additional $50, because your standard juices at 10 ml go for 250. So if you were talking about quantity without sacrificing quality, then you can actually go for these. They have one particular flavor for, I'd probably say for anyone who's looking for any specific taste. So if you're a tobacco guy, they got Tasty Tobacco. If you like a bit of the bitter taste, then they have Creamy Coffee for you. If you're a candy person, they got Crazy Cotton Candy. Melon Twist and Crystal Cola are also for those who are after the sweet spots. Now, that's basically it. For any questions, you can hit them up on Facebook. Vape City is the name of the group. They got branches again in Alabang, Las Piñas, Bicutan, Bulacan, Isabela, Batangas, Manila, and I hope I didn't miss anyone out. Please don't feel bad, guys, if I did. And Makati is coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Now, again, this is Marco. I hope you guys got a bit of a feel of what these flavors taste like. So you guys have a pleasant day, afternoon, or evening, regardless of what time you are watching this video. Vape on, guys. Have fun.